Welcome to this edition of One on One. I'm your host, Avery Bebon. My guest today is psychologist Dr. Katherine Kelly. Today, we'll be discussing her work in past life regression therapy, how to heal in progressive new ways, and of course, past lives' recent explosion in popular culture. Welcome to the show, Dr. Kelly.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here and happy to help because I do think, like you said, there is an explosion in interest for really a lot of spiritual modalities, but this past life regression piece seems to be growing pretty quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so I want to know, what do you think a past life is?
Big question, but it's a consistent answer probably. And I'm going to explain it from the soul perspective because the soul is just the essence of who we are, and it's all about energy. That energy, as we know through science, that energy never dissipates, it never goes anywhere. So basically, as we travel through each lifetime, we're taking the energy of our soul with us and we're accumulating information along the way, learning lessons, which is the toughest part. And we're fine tuning who we are as individuals in each lifetime so that we can, I use the word ascend or evolve, and take ourselves further and further.
Oh my gosh. Okay, that is so interesting. So, does everyone have a past life?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm going to throw something in there that a lot of people don't know. Reincarnation was actually in the Bible prior to about 500 AD.
Okay, so is this how you first heard about past lives, or did you go through an experience of your own, or was it just from, learning about the Bible? I'd love to know.
So I had learned about past lives decades ago, but then when I was in graduate school was when I started having these experiences, and really they would call them spontaneous memories of places that I was or people I would run into, and I would instantaneously know them, but I wouldn't really know why. And so when I started to really do more and more reading, and then also have some past life regressions done for me, the pieces of the puzzle started coming together so much that then I realized is that there are a lot of wounds that we have that can never be healed from a human level unless we deal with the wounds from the past lives.
What exactly is past life regression therapy?
So past life regression therapy, it's basically this situation that you take someone to a very deep level of meditation or hypnosis to start to extract the unconscious memories that a person has stored within them. And as I said, that soul travels through different lifetimes. So if you get them into a deep enough level of that meditation, you can have them start extracting the information they need to either heal things in this lifetime or understand the pieces of the puzzle that need to come together so that you can really unblock some obstacles and then move forward.
That sounds beautiful, and I think that you're really touching upon it, but what is past life trauma?
Yes. So for instance, if someone was killed very tragically in a past life, they may develop a certain fear, or they may actually literally develop physical kinds of manifestations that nobody can figure out where they came from in this lifetime. So you
Wow.
go to a traditional physician or a traditional psychologist, they may work with you for years trying to figure out what is going on. But if that trauma, the current life trauma is based in something from the past, you're really never going to heal it fully.
One of the biggest platforms sharing past life experiences has actually been TikTok, which is one
Okay.
of the new, social medias. So we actually would love to show you an example of this. I do have to give you a warning. It is pretty graphic, and you did touch upon it earlier. Someone who might have experienced something, kind of aggressive in the past life. If you want to just watch it, and then we'll come back and chat about it, okay?
Okay, perfect.
Woke up one morning and decided, hey, let's do a past life regression. Trigger warning for anybody that's not mentally stable, who has anxiety, please don't do this because it literally messed with me for a good couple of days. So in my deep meditative state, I saw myself as a white female with light brown hair, and I had a daughter. I was wearing clothes that kind of resembled like medieval times, and I was out with my daughter picking fruit or like harvesting something. And I just remember these men in black horses came and they separated me and my daughter and were calling me a witch. As I was watching my daughter get pulled away from me, the men took me away and slit my throat. And when they slit my throat, I honestly choked up and started crying. Like it felt so real to me, and I just didn't even know how to feel. Up until this day, I can't wear turtlenecks. I can't keep anything close to my neck. I feel like it suffocates me. It just triggers something in me.
Wow. All right. So I would love to get your thoughts on that.
Okay, so my number one thought is you should never do a past life regression on your own. You should always go to a trained professional. I'm very biased. I think you should go to a trained professional who does psychological work because you can have extremely graphic, painful, they're called abreactions. You can have these reactions come up, and if you are doing this on your own, or if you do it with someone who calls themselves a practitioner, but that person does not know how to work with you from a psychological perspective, that is dangerous. Now, what's interesting, and I resonated with what she was saying because I actually I did a past life regression for myself at one point after I was trained. I do know what to do with it, and I actually saw my own throat slit, and
Oh
it
my
was from a
gosh.
family member. And I'm going to help you. I'm saying this to help you understand why it can be helpful under the circumstances of working with a therapist, because when I saw this happen, it was a family member who hired someone to do it so she didn't have to do it to me. And after I had that reaction, after I saw that, it actually helped put a lot of pieces together for why she treated me the way she did in that lifetime.
So you were in this lifetime with someone who you were also in the past life with?
Yes, you do tend to travel through lifetimes with what's called a soul group. And so that's why when you run into someone that you've never known before in this life, and you're like, wow, I feel like I know you. It's because you generally do know them from a past life and they're part of your soul group. It's like a cast, a movie cast, and that you're just recasted in different roles in different lifetimes according to what you are supposed to learn from that person or within that dynamics.
That's so fascinating. And I have one final question for you. What would you say would be the biggest misconception about past life regression that you would want to fix? And what's one thing that you would want people to know?
Great questions. I think the biggest misconception is that it's hooey, because until you have gone through it and understood how it helps you, you're not going to really understand it, honestly. The thing that I would want people to know, honestly, is to be open to it. Be open to it, but then also work with someone who can help you put the pieces together, because that's it, is you need someone to help you work it together so that it can reweave your understanding in a way that takes you forward. Otherwise you may very well be left fragmented like this woman that you showed the video for.
Thank you so much. This has been so interesting, and my mind is quite frankly a little blown. But thank you so much for coming today, Dr. Kelly. And
You are
thank you to the viewers at home. Come back next week for another titillating edition of One on One.